Hey, this is Jeff Ward. Welcome back to the Accidental Bible Scholar Podcast. This is episode 32, if you're paying attention to that. Thanks for joining us. We're glad that you are listening. Just a reminder, according to John 17:3, eternal life is knowing God the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. And it's our hope and prayer that this podcast encourages you in your walk and your relationship with Him. If you have any questions, concerns, criticism, or topics you'd like to hear Randy discuss, email us at contact@accidentalbiblescholar.com. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube that has video. Every Thursday, we release a new episode. If you want to go to our website, it's not completed, but it is functional. You can find all of our podcasts and links to them there. That website is www.accidentalbiblescholar.com. We're continuing our study of Ephesians. Last week, we split a podcast that went about an hour and 20 minutes into two, and we talked about marriage. We ended discussing the crazy cycle in marriage and talked about how to end the crazy cycle and get into the energizing cycle. And I'm excited for you to hear it. Without further ado, let's jump into that podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
I have said with Christy and I, when we'll have a discussion, is like, this is what I heard you say, and that kind of fired me up. Or and we can talk about it like that.
Yeah.
Like,
be able to use
didn't mean
words
it like
that.
that, or
They almost. I mean, we almost never mean it like that, right?
Right.
I'm trying to respect her.
Right.
When I pull away, she's trying to love me when she gets right in my face.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah. So there's a little bit of, and we'll talk about that. That's a good transition to the next phase of talking about how to break this cycle. Let me just review the cycle. She feels unloved. She reacts in a way that feels disrespecting. He feels disrespected. He reacts in a way that feels unloving. She feels unloved, and around it goes. Okay. So the idea, there's two ideas there. One is to break when you find yourself in that mode, is to break it. Because here's the reality. Is the wife loved? Absolutely. In a Christian marriage, she's loved. Is the husband respected? Yes. Okay. So that's step one for us, just to kind of come to an agreement in our own minds and between us and our spouses that, okay, I love you dearly and she respects me unconditionally. So that's the first clue. The next clue is to decode what's happening. Take off your blue glasses that's filtering out everything that you can't see that's feminine. Her to take off her pink glasses and quit filtering everything through her feminine mindset, and to interrupt this cycle. So when you mess up and your wife responds to you because she feels unloved and it feels like disrespect, just go, no, she's not disrespecting you. She's trying to correct the love. She's trying to reconnect.
Right.
And just go, oh, okay. So now do the opposite of what you want to do. Move closer, connect, get face to face. Let her get face to face. But see, because I'm fully loved, I can take my need for respect or my need to be offended by something and put it to the side and just hopefully get rid of that forever, the need or the idea of being offended, and just meet her where she is.
Yep.
And go right to her. Move closer.
Yeah.
Not move farther away. And the wife needs to do the same thing. Just stop and reinterpret.
Yeah. It's taking that ground from Satan. Nope,
yes.
You're not getting in the middle of us.
Exactly.
Take the ground away by, like you said, interrupting the cycle. And
yeah.
Yep.
And the wife can interrupt it by, instead of hearing something unloving, hearing something respectful. Give him a little time.
Sure.
If he's upset and he's creating space, let him create space. It's not unloving.
Right.
He's just reacting in a way that he needs to react, or that he has been taught to react and is designed within him because he's speaking the language of respect. He's actually respecting you. He's not unloving you. He loves you, but he's also trying to respect you by just creating some space, let everything die down. So whoever, I don't know who initiates that, but both of you can stop the crazy cycle. And then kind of finishing up here, we're at an hour here, but so I won't spend a whole lot of time on this next part, but this is what the author would call the energizing cycle. Instead of waiting for the crazy cycle to get going or about to get going, you put the brakes on it, be proactive. What's that mean? That means do what Ephesians 5:33 says, love her.
Yeah.
And to respect him. I got whole lessons. Maybe we can do these later because I got scripture to go with each one of these, but let's talk about, let me see if I can throw out some 5 minutes on each, if that's even possible. But
hey, if we have to break this into 2 lessons,
okay,
let's do it.
So
or 2 podcasts.
Loving your wife. Let's see. Think about connection. Okay, go to it. And again, there's nothing new here, right? But still, if you guys talk about it, both of you guys can talk about love and respect Ask your wife what love feels like to her. That'd be another thing. You're to cleave. So we've been commanded to cleave, right? Oneness, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Closeness is a reconnecting at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you're tired and just want to unwind. That's okay. She's been away from you, so she wants to reconnect. She wants the face-to-face time. So when you come in, help in the kitchen, ask about her day, listen to it. And here's the hard part. Be ready to tell about your day. That's loving your wife when she wants to know what's been going on.
Right.
There's been a distance. There's been an 8, 10, 12-hour distance between the two of you.
Yeah.
As to love her is to reconnect. Part of the reconnection is you telling her about your day. Another good word here is involvement. Be involved in the home, in the chores, in the parenting. Many of us tend toward independence than involvement, but we need to go against that because she needs you to be involved in every aspect of the home. That's telling her that you have left and you are cleaving. Okay.
Yeah. And one funny thing,
it
doesn't take much. Like a little bit of involvement is giant.
It is.
And
it's huge.
all of a sudden she's like, thanks so much. And you're like, I didn't feel like I was doing much at all, but just a little bit of jumping in is huge.
Yeah.
Go change a diaper or whatever.
Yeah. In times of conflict, she needs to get it all out on the table.
Yeah.
Let her get it all on the table. Don't feel disrespected if it's at a loud volume and she's getting it out on the table. Don't let that happen.
Yeah.
She's trying to reconnect. Interpret it as that. Let's see some other stuff. Be open. Open up yourself to her. A man's tendency is to close off. Don't close off. Open to her. You can be closed off to the rest of the world in some degree or another, but don't be closed off to your husband. To your wife. Let her in. Hearing your thoughts and having you listen to her face to face is energizing.
Yeah.
So reconnect, be open. Let's see. I said, many wives want to keep the relationship up to date. That means talking through the events of the day and talking through any possible conflicts. And that means doing it daily. Let's see.
Can I interject again?
Yes.
So, I work for Delta.
Mm-hmm.
And so
work
I'm gone.
is kind of
I don't
know if I'd use that word, but you're employed by Delta.
Employed.
I'm sorry.
And so I just got back from a trip,
3-day
trip, the last night. So this morning went on a walk with Christy and she talked and she's talking a lot on our walk. And she finally goes, whoa, I've been talking this whole time. And I was like, yeah. And I love it. I really meant, keep going. I like to hear it.
Yeah.
And, for her, it's just like, boom, I think at the time I didn't think, whoa, we're connecting. But I could see we're connecting again after a trip. So I found that you kind of come home, there's a little bit of a disconnection just because we've been doing our own thing.
Yeah.
And
you went to Tokyo, so you're dog tired.
Yeah. But we come home.
But you still need to connect.
And I used to come back. We do it a little differently now, but we would go just to breakfast or we'd run to Walmart, run an errand or something but it's just her and I and we just talk, or just connect back.
Yeah.
Get on the same sheet of music again.
Right.
Not that we were you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go to 1 Peter 3:7. Can you flip that up?
Man, wear out my Bible here, flipping these pages.
I know, man.
Yes. Husbands, in the same way, treat your wives with consideration as the weaker partners and show them honor as fellow heirs of the grace of life. In this way, nothing will hinder your prayers.
Okay. Yeah, I already hinted at that. But I would like to bring out the part about a weaker vessel. She's not weaker to you in many ways.
Right.
Emotional strength. We're not talking moral strength. We're not talking intellectual strength. Mm-hmm. We are to some degree talking physical strength.
Mm-hmm.
You can go, well, that's all talking about physical strength. And I get that. We don't want to, our culture right now is trying to stamp out all the difference between male and female, but like it or not, males are stronger than females. You can find a few instances that's not the case. But what's also going on here? And this was as a man who raised daughters, and you've got 2 daughters. You've raised sons as well, obviously. But the weaker vessel also is an expression of the wife's vulnerability to the husband in the marriage relationship. If I didn't raise sons, but if I was thinking sons, I think, I'd be a little less concerned about them in their marriage relationship because they're the ones that are the leaders. They're the stronger ones physically. And some of their natural tendencies kind of would make me worry about them less. But with raising girls, I always taught them, they didn't really realize it, but I was giving them a knucklehead filter. Because I didn't want to marry a knucklehead because they're vulnerable in a way that the man is not vulnerable in their marriage.
Yeah.
I think that's what one thing 1 Peter 3:7 is talking about.
Yeah.
And you may think I'm crazy or people that saw me do it might think, but I opened the car doors for my wife and both daughters.
Yeah.
When they got out of car seats and doing their own thing, that was a little bit of work. But on the passenger side, I would work. I'd open both doors at the same time. And Gracie, our youngest, she would wait. She's on the driver's side. She would stand there and wait until I got over there and opened the door because I had her trained.
Right.
What was my point? As soon as she went out on a date with a knucklehead, that was a knucklehead filter. They don't treat me. She doesn't. This knucklehead doesn't treat me like dad treats me. And you can carry that through your entire day with your daughters.
Right.
There is a vulnerability there, I think, within the marriage relationship that a woman has and a man doesn't.
Yeah.
And so that's why this teaching is super important. That's why the command to love your wife is super important.
Good. I remember my daughter went on a date with a guy and she came back. She's like, Daddy, he didn't even open the door for me. And I have never, ever said, I've never sat down and said, hey, you need to open the door. Or, I would expect a guy that takes you out to open the door for you.
Yeah.
She just saw me do that for Christy. I didn't do that for my daughters. Separate,
but she still got
all
it.
three, but she understands that. And I would just chuckled. I'm like, well, I would expect most guys don't, because they just aren't trained that way.
Yeah.
So I was like, don't let that be the
factor. But you probably treated her in a way throughout her day, every day, that she could go, oh, that's, this guy is just not, I mean, he could deceive her by opening her door maybe, but no, there's so many more layers to that.
Yep. Indications
that
of
the way you treat your daughters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The wife is vulnerable when the husband doesn't try to understand her ways. And when you dishonor her by treating her as less than an equal, less than, and put it in Peter's language, a fellow heir of the grace of life. But here, don't pass judgment on her differences. We as men probably tend to do that more than the lady does.
Yeah.
She tends to be a little more emotionally squared away and understands things, maybe some would call it a higher emotional IQ. She just understands these things better. But anyway, okay.
Are you going to talk about, it says, in this way, nothing will hinder your prayers?
No, I kind of
love
had
your wives. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you want to hinder your prayers is not love your wife.
No. Yeah. That kind of fits into that principle in the first, or that, what I call the spiritual law in the first part of, or the last part of chapter, verse 28. A man who loves his wife loves himself.
Yeah.
Right. And answered prayers would certainly be a good thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Or unhindered prayers, to just put it in that language.
Right.
Yeah. I already talked about and hinted at, but we fight differently, or we argue differently, or let me put it more succinctly, we resolve conflict differently. Men, just space sometimes fixes it. Women generally need to get it all out in the open. Your wife is you're going to love your wife by not just going, hey, let's just drop it and forget about it. She probably can't.
Yeah.
That will probably come back maybe years later. It was just hard for her to forget that. She needs some resolution. She needs it all tied up in a bundle and then get rid of it. The man is different than that. So listen to her. She needs to hear, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me?
Right.
She needs to hear that probably more than you do. I put here, I can't remember if I got this from the book or made it up, but I go, she's living in a swimsuit issue world. She needs to know that you treasure her above all else.
Yeah.
That you're a one-woman man. She needs you to know that by your actions and by your words.
Yeah.
Your assurance of her love. So let's see. We won't go there, but Song of Solomon 7:6 talks about he's expressing her charms and her delights. Tell her what you like about her. She needs your praise. Psalms 31, 28 through 29. That's the woman, Psalm 31 woman. Go read Psalms 31, 28, and 29. Those are all things that give us ideas about how to love our wife. Let's go real quick to,
what was that Psalm?
31, I think 28 through 29. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. The song, I think it's the Song of Solomon, is 7:6.
Okay.
Not a psalm.
Did you say a psalm a minute ago?
No, let's see. No, I don't think so. I think I probably missaid Song of Solomon. I just called it songs. Proverbs 31, 28, 29. That's the proverb.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let me think. I got to change pages. Respecting your husband. And let's see. Maybe I can pull out a few things. I would also, as we're talking through these things, as I'm talking about love, the woman, it's ringing her bell. Remember, we're not asked to be gravitated toward what rings our bell. We're being asked to gravitate toward what rings your husband's bell or your wife's bell.
Yeah.
So I just talked about how you love your wife, and the wife's going, yeah. Okay. And the men may be disconnected, and we need to get that turned around.
Right.
Right. So now I'm going to talk about respect, and the men were going, yeah. Okay. No. this is not for the men, this is for the wives. Let's see. We talked about unconditional respect. When I will tread lightly here, and I'm not going to probably spend quite as much time, but when I was preparing this years ago, and I was bouncing some of this off Angela, and she made the comment, I wish a lady could teach this lesson. And I'm like, why? And what she's worried about the ladies feeling beat up.
Right.
And the women in the church, especially when it comes to submitting, that's an overused and many times abused word.
Right.
And the implications of it. And sure, a woman can feel beat up. I'm not intending to beat anybody up here. Okay.
Right.
Here's what I asked Angela. I said, Angela, if you were trying to become a better tennis player, would you hire a golf coach or a tennis coach? And you'd go, well, you'd want the tennis coach, right? So if you're trying to speak respect better, do you want a man to tell you how to do that, or do you want a woman to tell you how to do that? So and I just did the opposite of freaking love, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, for what it's worth, I put here, appreciate his desire to work and achieve.
Right.
That's kind of built into your average man, to work and achieve. So, Adam had a job before he had a wife. He had a mission and a purpose in life before he had a wife. I think we'll have jobs in heaven. That's a free charge side note there. But, and watch your little boys. Your little boys are exploring and conquering and hunting and achieving and building. Just watch them play. They play differently.
Yeah.
Than little girls. I have 2 grandsons now. So, and Angela and I have fun experiencing, because we raised 2 daughters. And we have a granddaughter as well. But the boys are 6 and 9. So for 9 years, we've watched little boys grow up, and it's been interesting because it's different than little girls.
Yes.
Okay. What do 2 men talk about when they first meet? What do you do?
What do you do?
And, that's kind of the way it is. So learn to appreciate that. To my knowledge, there's no similar drive in the woman. Women today want the choice of working or not working, but the drive is different. So learn to appreciate that in your husband. Learn to appreciate his desire to protect and to provide. That's a place you can learn to voice your respect for him in those areas. So protecting and providing. It's an awesome responsibility, and he will be held accountable for it before God. And God has equipped him for that calling. He has a sense of need to provide and protect. Let's see. I had something here's some examples. Who locks up at night in our house? Probably the same person that locks up in your house. The man.
Me.
Yeah. And when I go on a trip, because I go on these Delta trips too, and I go, hey, don't forget, lock the doors, set the alarm, all these kinds of things.
Right.
Because she's told me, I forgot to lock all the doors last night. Well, a guy almost never forgets to lock the doors.
Right.
It's the way we're designed. So
Right.
You're respecting your husband by just voicing that appreciation for some of those things. I have, and it's for obvious math reasons, I have 20 times the life insurance that my wife has. And you go, well, yeah, Randy, that's of course, because they're trying to replace your salary. Got that. But here's another thing. My wife has no idea that that's the case.
Right.
And she certainly hadn't researched it and bought it and paid for it and pays those bills every day. I mean, is that because she's not thinking clear? No, we're designed different. I'm wanting to provide for her.
Right.
If I'm gone, I still want to provide for her.
Right.
So I'm just throwing out little indications to show you that, yeah, that's right. In the middle of the night, if the alarm goes off or you hear a window break, who goes to the sound of the
Christy's jumping up.
Yeah,
I'm hiding under
and
the
you're
covers.
going to the bed. No, but who's going to the kids and who's going straight to wherever that noise is?
Right.
That gives us a little hint of our design. So learn to appreciate that. Okay, let's see. What about his desire to serve and lead? And you can even cultivate that. He wants to be the leader, hopefully. So learn to follow. Learn to follow in the way the church follows Christ.
Right.
Learn to understand where he's going and that kind of thing. I make fun of Angela. It's just a joke, but I make fun of them. I'm constantly looking back to make sure I get in front of her, and I tease her that she's going her own way, but it looks like I'm leading because I'm looking backwards to make sure I stay in front of her. That's because she walks slower and she cuts the corner somewhere when we're going some places maybe. But anyway, let's see. All of us are a work in progress in this marriage thing. Sometimes the men are a little slower to learn in some of these areas. So offer grace to us, but that goes both ways. A quick side note here. I say some ladies probably feel fear being abused or taken advantage of. That happens probably today in Bay County here. But an evil-willed husband is going to do it regardless, right? So again, don't be afraid. If you are afraid, get out of the situation until it calms down. I'm talking divorce. I'm talking about physically get out. All right, let's see. You know, one of the ways a man shows empathy, if you and I probably won't chuckle because it's natural to us, is we give you solutions to your problems.
Don't solve my problem.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Appreciate that about him.
Right.
You know, we tell, you know, the marriage books spend most of the time on, hey, she's just voicing, she's not when you solve her problem, she's just trying to get out in the open. I'm like, okay, let's flip that around. One way to respect and honor him is to appreciate that he is a problem solver.
Right.
And he's going to show you empathy by giving you a solution.
Right.
Listen to two men. First of all, I'm not going to tell you my problem unless I want a solution. And when I tell you my problem, you go, hey, dude, have you tried this? Oh, yeah, I'll go try that.
Yeah.
It's the way a man naturally shows empathy is by telling you, by helping you with your problems. Let's see. I got a lot of stuff here that we'll skip through. I put here, husbands have a need for a shoulder-to-shoulder friendship, not that face-to-face friendship or the face-to-face. Yeah. So just look at the typical male recreational activities. We already talked about that. I got a buddy I go hunting with, and we're in separate tree stands all morning, 2 miles apart, and we'll come home. Hey, I was hunting. Good. Well, what's Kelly up to? Let me text him and see.
Right.
Right. So let's see. So find some shoulder to shoulder things. This is not a lesson on sex, but she needs an emotional release sometimes. Like when you get back from Tokyo, the man sometimes needs a sexual release. It's very similar. It's just different in our makeup.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we've been doing this long enough, but those are the commands. Ephesians 5:33. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, respect your husbands. That right there, we could probably. I think that one verse hints at a lot to help us with our marriages and help us with our relationships with our wives and our husbands. Anything else you want to add, or
the great dance?
Is that
what you call it? The
grand dance. I think it's what Jonathan Edwards called it. I called it Let's Dance.
Let's dance.
Let's you and I enter back into that dance.
Yeah.
Let's orbit around each other as we orbit around the triune God.
And as you do that, the marriage and your walk with Christ, it all just gets sweeter and sweeter.
Yes.
As you do it.
Yeah.
And she starts, I find it, I just chuckle. She knows a lot of, she'll make, like when I'm out of town, she'll make a decision on something. And we both know it's pretty much a decision I would have made.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? She'll
Yeah.
make it and go, hey, I had to do this with put a dog down or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And she knows that's what he would have done because we've just done this dance for a long time.
Yeah.
Not that we don't check with each other. When we're around, we are making those decisions together. But it's funny. We make decisions and we know what each other's thinking most of the time.
Yeah. Because you've done a lot of these things. Neat. You've been involved and you've preferred each other over all others.
Right.
So yeah, you spend time together.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. I guess you're done with.
I think I'm done.
Well, it's been an hour and a half. This might be 2 podcasts. It might be 1. We'll see what we do.
All right.
But if, like I said in the beginning, if you have any questions or want Randy to amplify anything that he said or more examples or whatever, please let us know via email. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.